You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today, we're going to get started with our Motivation and Mindset Monday and really start the week out right. The way we're going to do that is we're going to talk about a topic that I honestly think needs to be discussed and needs to be talked about more often. And it's this, I want you and all of your friends and all of your family and all of their friends to stop making things so difficult for yourself. And what I want to talk about that is almost from a little bit more of a fun perspective. I never like to try to talk down to someone and say, hey, I'm up here on the mountain and, I'm talking down to you because I'm, so great or any of those things. Absolutely not. I give myself this same speech all the time. Sometimes it literally feels like I'm just walking into a wall. I step back, I walk into the wall again, I step back and I walk into it again because I'm just making things so much more challenging for myself than they need to be. Life doesn't always need to be as challenging as it is. Sometimes when things seem very challenging, like say you're trying to get well, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to move up in your career, you're trying to do whatever it might be. Oftentimes, the only reason that it's challenging is because we don't know what we're doing. That's kind of the bottom line, is that we haven't been given a really simple, clear-cut plan. And I'm not going to talk about that necessarily today. I'm going to talk about how to get there. And once we have that, it becomes so much easier. There's a reason why I say that, because we know that there's so many other people who have what we want, right? So you can always see a role model, something that you strive for. And those people have already done it. So we're assuming that if someone's done it and they make it look much easier than us, well, they have the secret. It's kind of like if someone comes to me with a wellness-based issue, I honestly believe that there's no one I can't help. People ask me all the time, well, what do you specialize in? Or do you help someone with psoriatic arthritis? Or do you help someone with Graves or Hashimoto's or lupus or Lyme or whatever? And I say, of course, absolutely, because I'm not a specialist. I'm not a conventional medicine type practitioner. I'm all of these things. I try to just roll it up into one, which means this. I don't treat the disease, I treat the person. So you can give me the name of whatever you have. And it can be a special name that they just came up with 6 months ago. To me, that doesn't matter, because all I have to do is I need to look at what the actual underlying root causes, the imbalances that you have in your body. And once I know that, then I can say, oh, that's why this person has this. Because you know what? A lot of the root causes are the same, but the expressions are different. Because I might be more prone to rheumatoid arthritis or sarcoidosis or type 2 diabetes or inflammatory-based issues or Alzheimer's, any of those things that might run in my family. But for you, you might be more prone to eczema. You might be more prone to migraines. That's your genetic predisposition, but both of our underlying root causes are oftentimes the same exact thing. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, how does that possibly relate to, stop making things so difficult for yourself is you need to simplify life, right? When we're banging our head against the wall, it's simply because we're looking at things from the wrong perspective. Most things in life are much easier to accomplish and simpler to accomplish than we could possibly imagine once we're given the clear-cut path of how to do that. And I'm like that in a lot of ways as well. I have new projects that I want to take on, meaning I feel like I've done my work in health, and I'll obviously continue to always study. I still read, again, literally about, I would say 2 to 3 books per week instead of 4 to 5 books per week, but I'm still reading that many. I really am. And I'm always saying okay, well, what's this person's perspective? Yes, I've read about that. But, how are they looking at it? Is it any different than I'm doing right now. So I'm keeping up with it. But now it's like I'm trying to tackle different areas, look at different things and how I can take that and now bring it into what I do in my practice. So different outlets. And you'll find the same thing. You're going to master something and be like, how did I not know that previously? It seems so obvious, right? Because once you master something, you are a master of it. Everything seems simple. But to those who haven't mastered it, who haven't been through it, everything looks complicated. Everything looks like trigonometry, right? If you're not great at that, you're like, well, what does all of this mean? So what I want to do is I want to give you a little bit of a formula. I've actually spoken about this before, but not in the same manner. There is a formula. There's literally a formula that can help you to stop making things so difficult for yourself. So one of those things is this. It's called the be, do, get formula. It's 3 words: be, do, and then get. That means you start by being. Well, what does that mean? For me, it means this. One of the reasons why people are making things very difficult for themselves is because they haven't gotten clear. They don't know exactly what it is that they want, right? So a lot of people say they want to get well, but do they really? Are they just saying that? Meaning, like, if you get well, you don't have that thing to lean on anymore. Like before, I was kind of known as like, this sick kid, this whatever. Like that was my identity. I hated that identity. But there are things to being like a sick person where you're getting sympathy from people. People are asking you about it. And it's weird. I see this in my practice now. Like it's this victim mentality and a lot of people don't like to leave it. So you need to search deep if you're ready to leave that space and become someone new. I had to want to become someone new to get fed up with the life that I was living, to then want to move to that next level, because that next level is completely different from where you are right now. Are you ready for that? And if you're ready for that, well, then you are then ready to start doing those things that are going to get you there. So what I want you to think about is this. The being part is you need to start looking at, okay, I'm ready to change. I'm clear. I know what I want. I want to lose that, 28 pounds. Remember, I gave, I think, a pretty good synopsis of like how to create all of these different things. So like on episode 331, if you didn't check that out, go to stephencabral.com/331. It gives you the entire formula. So I'm not going to do that today. I think that was pretty concise. But the being is like, look at who's the role model, who's done this, who's created it, who's the practitioner, whatever it might be. Like, have they helped someone in my position? Because remember, we all think that we're like unique and we're special in this way. And we are. I'm not saying that we're not all special. But what I am saying is this, is that anything that you're dealing with right now, I'm guaranteeing you someone else has. They really have. They honestly have. So find out how someone else overcame it. Find the practitioner maybe that helped them, or find out the book, the article, the whatever that helped them, right? Then what I want you to do is this. I want you to start doing. I want you to start implementing that proven plan, right? So B means becoming, thinking about getting clear on what it is that you need to do. Then start doing the thing that you need to do, right? The work. We all kind of want to skip the work part. That's the funny thing is like, I want to achieve X, whatever it is. Like, let's say I want to, I want to bench press 305 pounds or so, right? Well, I need to then do the work to get from where I am now to lifting weight over a period of however many weeks to end up hitting that goal, right? And that's a random goal. So you need to just put in your goal there, and then you need to implement the plan. For someone to bench press 305 pounds, they need to say, okay, I can currently bench press 185. So I'm a little bit more than halfway to get there. What is the plan that's going to get me there? And that's probably going to be like a 4 to 6 month protocol to get them there. But they could absolutely get there, especially if they have the right nutrition plan, the right coach, all of those things to get to that one goal. So you need to find that out as well. But absolutely, you could get there, right? For most people, right? But you have to choose the plan that works for you, create your vision, and then start doing those things. Working the plan, as we call it. Do the plan, and understanding the plan is not going to pay off tomorrow, next week, or probably even the week after. But what I want you to do is this. Start to accumulate small wins. It is those small wins that you look at the big picture, but you're like, okay, I need to lose 30 pounds. Well, you know what? On your way to 30 pounds, you need to lose 5. So congratulate yourself at that 5-pound mark. Maybe purchase that new dress or that new whatever it might be when you get to a certain goal weight. It's kind of like a mini reward for yourself. Give yourself a massage after a 5-pound weight loss. Like, congratulate yourself. If you're doing the Dr. Wall detox, something like that, do an infrared sauna in your location. It's inexpensive for the most part, and you get to enjoy like a new health-based product. Start to accumulate those small wins. Congratulate yourself. Let yourself that you're not exactly where you want to be, but you're moving there. And clearly you're making progress. And then right? It's be that person that you want to be. Understand that you're going to have to change. Do is work the plan that's worked for someone else. And then get is when you're building off of each and every success. It's not a secret, but it seems to be a secret, is that you don't wake up one day and become whatever it is that you wanted to become. It is this slow, sometimes tedious process of eventual change. It's always like, as they make that analogy, it is the caterpillar in the cocoon becoming eventually the beautiful butterfly. It's a cheesy analogy, but I love it because it's spot on. And I'll tell you why. It takes tremendous growth. And if you know what actually happens to the caterpillar, not a lot of people actually know this part, so it makes the story a little bit better. It turns into this like gelatinous glue and then eventually reforms as the butterfly. It has to become something totally different and new, but still from the same substance to actually become to this amazing thing that can now fly. Really, if you look at that analogy, that is what you're trying to do and create with your life. You are taking the mold of what you are right now, which is still already great. It's good as it is, but it can always be better. Our life, I honestly believe the happiness, the enrichment, really feeling like you have no regrets comes from really gradual change and growth. When we're not growing, as they say, we're dying. If you're not working towards a goal, a worthwhile goal, it doesn't have to be monetary. It doesn't have to be career-wise. It doesn't have to be weight loss. It doesn't have to be health. It has to be something that gives you pleasure, energy, passion, whatever it is. A lot of people, it's writing the book. Some people, it is helping out with their grandkids. A lot of other people, it is being the best parent for their children. I mean, there's so many different analogies, right? For me, I'm kind of single focused. I want to be a great dad. I want to be a great husband, and I want to be a great health practitioner. I want to help people with that. And I also want to be a good owner for the 2 practices that I have, for all of the people that I take care of, and also for all of my team members as well. But besides that, I don't try to take on a lot of other stuff because that's enough. And so you don't want to spread yourself too thin as well. So I don't want this podcast to go on and on, but I do want you to understand that you have to start to become, you have to start to literally visualize. You have a very clear vision of what it is that you want. Then you can work an action plan to achieve that. That action plan is on episode 331. It's very, very simple when you break it down. I'm telling you, you have to check out that episode. If you do not, re-listen to it. If you already listened to it, it will help. And then eventually, after you've accumulated hours, after you've accumulated work, after you've done the same thing every single time, after you've been consistent, after you've put in the work, then you get that thing that you achieve. And I'm telling you, you're going to get that thing 100% of the time, 99.9999. And why? Because I can honestly tell you this, that unless you give up, unless you quit, there are only so many times you can fall down and fail. Because every time you fail, or what you call a failure, I call just a trial, is you're going to learn from that and never repeat that. Don't do the things that you know don't work. Don't go back on the same diet plan. You know it's not going to work. Find a new one. Don't do the same exercise plan that just gets you the same exact results every time. Do something different. So what I'm saying is you're going to learn along the way. That is the only way to achieve your goals. I don't know anyone in any industry who's ever achieved anything that it's been a straight shot to the finish line. It is a zigzag process. And a lot of times it's ugly. It's not pretty. When I was getting well, it was one of the ugliest things you've ever seen. I can tell you that. I had more relapses. I looked pitiful. It was terrible. And looking back on it, I feel bad for everyone that was around me. That's the truth. But unless I went through all of that, maybe I could find a few more practitioners earlier. But again, this was a long time ago. This was 20 years ago. Functional medicine they weren't doing seminars. There was no, functional medicine back then. So, again, I had to give myself a little time and say that, it was all in good time. And again, I wouldn't have learned what I learned now. So you can believe that everything happens for a reason. And maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. What I believe is that we do control our destinies, that we can do what we want with our life if we have that clear vision and we're willing to do the work day in and day out, no matter how redundant it can be, no matter how many times we fall down 7 times, we get up 8, right? That's the saying. We have to live that. And you know what? The last part I'll say is this, is that, sometimes you fall down, it doesn't feel that good, right? So give yourself a moment to rest. Don't be too hard on yourself. Just understand that you're going to get there. Take a minute to breathe, take a minute to rest, regroup when you need to. I mean, believe me, I know I would relapse. I'd feel sorry for myself for a couple weeks. And then I'd say, you know what? Time to pick myself up again. Here we go. Let's try something different. And I would just build. And I would write down what didn't work and I would start to build. And that's what I want for you. I want you to understand that your life is within your control. I just don't want you to make things so difficult for yourself. Remember, people say, I can't eat well because I can't cook. I mean, how hard is it to go to a grocery food store, buy a piece of salmon, put it in an oven and bake it, squeeze some lemon on it, put a little olive oil on it, it's done. You really can't mess that up. Put a little bit of asparagus or something besides that salmon, bake it at 375. I'm not a chef, but I guarantee you're going to cook asparagus and salmon, right? Don't make things hard on yourself. Start small. Get these easy wins. Do what you can do. Build off of that. I'm telling you, you will achieve your goals with that mindset. Follow the be, do, get formula. And I'm telling you, follow the proven plan. You will achieve the life that you've always wanted. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And please, as always, feel free to share this episode with anyone you believe it could help.
Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.